Welcome to AFLNT's coverage of the 24-25 TIO NTFL Men's Premier League in Darwin. We're here at Gardens Oval this afternoon, 5th place Waratah, taking on the Darwin Buffaloes. The win will be ideal for Waratah leading into finals. The Tiwis having the bye this week, and St Mary's playing Norbuilt later on this afternoon against Southern Districts. The Buffs will be looking for a strong performance ahead of off-season to boost their spirits. My name is Nick Danks. I'm joined by my commentary partner this afternoon, Stuart Davis. Good afternoon, Stuart. And a big one here today for Waratahs.
Yeah, that's right. They're building and setting themselves for another finals campaign, aren't they? So, you don't want to flirt with form at this time of year. They'll go into an elimination final next week, so they want to be doing most things right today in preparation for that. And for Buffaloes, it's been a tough season for them. They off to a slow start with some change of coach just a couple of weeks before the season started, and went for a long time without a win, but they have had a couple of wins in the last few weeks, so things have looked up for them a bit more in recent times. Yeah, and after the Tigers defeated Palmerston by 98 points last night, of course the Darwin Buffs have avoided the wooden spoon, but the big news is that AFLNT investigation have found that more than 3 flying players were used during Nightcliffe's round 13 and 14 matches against St Mary and Pint. So as we sit now, Nightcliffe will be deducted 2 games, meaning they drop to 5th, setting up a elimination final with Waratah, depending on what happens today. And, of course, we'll watch to see what happens with the appeal from the Tigers. But that's massive news, Stu, for the Tigers. It is, and those penalties are harsh because there needs to be a strong deterrent to stick to the rules. So, we make no judgments, of course. The investigation's been done. AFLNT's come down with their ruling, and Nightcliffe have the right to appeal, as do any club under these circumstances. So we'll just wait for that outcome, and hopefully that gets done early in the week and everyone can settle down and prepare for next week.
Of course, this is the first time these two sides have met this season. They were supposed to meet in round 8, but that was the game abandoned here due to the injury to the Darwin Buffets player in the game just beforehand. So this is the first time these two sides have met this season, but you would have to be pretty confident for the Tars to come out of this one.
Yeah, that's right. Their form's been pretty good, really, hasn't it? They've just lost to the top sides recently, so we're underway, and quickly through the hands, and Ricky Monty gets the clearance for Tars. Brody Carroll, who's been in red-hot form, gathers at half-forward, centres the ball into the top of the goal square, but well read back there by the coach, Philip Wills, and he takes that mark and kicks out wide and finds Moroney in a bit of space on the outer side of the ground. Moroney sees something he likes, and that's Simpson up in the forward half, and he's been a terrific player for Buffs when he's played this season. Uses the ball nicely and finds Xavier Hampton out on the lead. Hampton drills it in towards half forward. This is good use of the football by Buffaloes early, and Arkel Rankin takes that mark. He kicks long towards goal. It's a one-on-one in the goal square. It's punched away from behind. The troops arrive now. Falls into the hands of Tyson Cronin on the left boot, and what a start that is for Darwin Buffaloes with the first goal of the game. Just really good ball movement from the back half, hitting targets all the way down, then the long kick in, and efficient at ground level.
Yes, watch the replay here. Rankin, that is big kick to get that in there, and then it's just a matter of where the ball bounced. Fell luckily there for Cronin, and Cronin snapped it over his shoulder, and the first score on the board for the Buffs, and good start for them. There's a couple of other games, of course. Tigers defeated Palmerston last night by 98, and today at Tracy Village we're in the final quarter, and Pint are leading Wanderers by 64 points. And then the big one later on this afternoon, about 28 minutes away, Southern Districts versus St Mary's at Norbuilt for the Men's Premier League here in Darwin. 1.5 minutes into this, and the Darwin Buffs have got the first score on the board.
So back in the middle of the ground, Riley Irvin doing the ruck work for Tars. It's scooped out the back to Carlin. Carlin on the left boot kicks down towards half forward. Players tumble over as Carroll gets his hands to it. Hand passes to O'Day, swooping it to Monty. Monty over the top to Kelly. Kelly by hand. They're just ping it around with the hands at the moment. Monty just trying to get some clear air, but he gets tackled, gets it out to Carlin, and Carlin uses it nicely across the ground. Found a player in some space, and that's Saltalamaccio who drills the pass in and has a player out on the long lead, and that's Clay Shadforth for Waratah.
Yeah, just made the distance, that one did, but umpire's given him the benefit of the doubt as he lines this one up to get the Tars' first one of the afternoon.
Shadforth pretty much directly in front. Comes in now, goal umpire does not move. Straight over the hat of the goal umpire, and there's the answering goal quickly from Waratah. So again, a good build-up. They just messed around with the ball through the hands out wide here, but really were trying to find someone in space, and eventually it was the acting captain today, Scott Carlin, who spotted a player in some space and got it out of the congestion, and that led to the goal in the end.
Yeah, a bit of messing around, as you said, Stu, with handballs there, but those 3 passes then set that up. This was a lovely pass into a leading Shadforth. It was a little bit further than I thought it was, but he's taken that very, very well to even it up. 3 minutes into the game, it's 1 goal apiece here at Gardens Oval.
So back in the middle of the ground. Irvin up, gets his hand to the ball, but Simpson at ground level for Buffs gets the clearance, thumps it forward, but well read getting in front is Nick Hoare taking that intercept mark, and now looking to come grandstand side. He's looking for Irvin. He got one hand to it. It spills out the back to Simpson. Simpson gets a hand pass over the top as Brown got a quick hand pass looking for Stokes, but was just behind him a bit, and now there's a scramble forward at ground level. Carlin's at the bottom of the pack. Saltalamaccia gets a hand pass out as the quick kick forward, but Irvin snatches that one and gets a hand pass inboard, then receives back. He's under plenty of pressure here. Buffs players almost missed him as they went through, and he got a hand pass forward, but there's a whistle on the play here from umpire down the field, and it's going to be a Waratah free kick.
Yeah, Matt Fogarty went in backwards then, and the umpires just pinged him for it.
So Saltalamaccia off the mark. He's got a player in a bit of space, just a bit too high, but Puruntarameri over the top takes it and now kicks out wide, and he finds Kelly. Kelly swings the ball into the corridor as working at ground level. It was Shadforth again, but Tars again using it through the hands. Kelly this time by hand to Puruntarameri. Loses his footing there. Coming in solidly was Wills for Darwin, and the ball caught in underneath, and it'll be a ball up.
That's the second time Stephen's fallen over in a few minutes there, so the moulded studs haven't worked for him out there at the moment, but I'm sure Ricky Nolan will say something if he sees that going on.
So Arnold Kirby for the first time gets a touch the ball down to O'Day. O'Day gets it quickly into the goal square, but good defensive work by Lockie East for Buffs. Sees it over for a rush behind.
So the Tars hit to the front for the first time today.
Bradley Stokes brings the ball in outer side of the ground to Kyle McBean. McBean spent many years at Waratah, of course, but been at Buffs for a few years now as he goes back and across, and a big leap at the ball there from Rankin, just a bit too early, and picked up by Kelly, who delivers nicely inside forward 50, and good use of the footy going in again, and Shadforth once again is the player on the receiving end. He just worked himself into a bit of space, and the pass was pinpoint.
He had a quick look behind him when he took that mark. This is about his distance. He got the last one, so he's pretty confident. Slight breeze into his face at the moment. Just pushed that one left.
Yeah, just didn't strike it properly, did he? But through for another behind. As Bradley Stokes gives the ball to his brother. So Jared will bring the ball back into play this time. He looked like he was going to go long, then gave off by hand to Bradley Stokes, and Stokes kicks long around the wing, but again too much for his teammates, and it's chopped off and marked by Hoare. His kick just a little bit low and spilled out of the hands of O'Day at ground level, but now it's Rankin who tries to get the hand pass forward, follows up with a tackle. It's a strong tackle, and this will be a ball up again, so it's pretty tough in the clinches, as you'd expect.
You watched Rankin last week, and he played very similar. He's already started here. He's involved in everything, which is good to see for the Buffs.
So the ball finds its way to Carlin on the outside. He kicks long inside forward 50, but that's a terrific mark in the contest. Going back, and it's East again for Buffaloes. He's looking to bring it back in the corridor. It's got to be good. It is. It's hit his teammate in amongst 4 Waratah players, and Tom Simpson didn't let him down. He goes long now, looking to the outer side of the ground where Timmy Eldridge has got a little bit of space out the back. Gives by hand to Moroney, back to Eldridge. Eldridge chips it high, but that's going over the top of the head, and Tars should be able to tidy up in the back half, and Taj Westworth gets it to Hutt, who goes on the outside. Westworth kept running, but Tars through the middle, and that's Shadforth again, who's been busy early in the game, chips it out wide. Monty took his eyes off the ball, looking to see what he was going to do with it once he got it, but spilled out of his hands and over the boundary line for a throw-in.
Yeah, he had that spent before he got it, didn't he, Stu? He just turned his head around. He knew exactly where he was going to put the next kick, but unfortunately just didn't get a clean grab of the one coming towards him.
So Simpson outsized in this ruck contest, just pushes Kirby out of the way as the tackle's laid in the middle of the ground, and it'll be a ball up again as Nathan Spry stands up and hands the ball back to umpire Callum Loney. This time Kirby, uncontested, wins the hit out on the outside. Jared Stokes hacks it off the ground, gets it forward. We're running onto it is Fogarty, but he was under some pressure from the Waratah defence, and the ball spills over the boundary line again. So almost 9 minutes gone, a goal apiece. Waratah with the 2-point lead in the first quarter.
Crowd starting to build up here at Gardens Oval.
Kirby with the hit out, gets it forward. O'Day under pressure again. It's the ball spills out momentarily and then gets caught up underneath again, and Hampton hands the ball back, and it'll be another ball up. So not travelling far at the moment as they try to work it out. Quick kick forward by Simpson on the outside, out in front of McBean, but he couldn't get to it to keep it in play, so a boundary thrown again. Ball's just been clogged up a bit on that outside of the ground for the last minute or so. Kirby and Hampton. Kirby did that easily, took it and kicked long forward as Jorgensen came over the top, got his hands to the ball, then at ground level did really well, got it to O'Day running from behind, and a kick forward by Shadforth, who's punched away. Comes back to Shadforth, who tries a quick left foot kick into the corridor, but well read by Maroney across half back, and he clears wide to the boundary line on the outer side of the ground. Simpson tried valiantly to keep it in play, but wasn't able to do so. So from the boundary throw in, it's Kirby and Hampton. Kirby too strong, took it out of the contest again, but his hand pass missed the target, and Buffs with a high clearance down the wing. Westworth coming in from behind, got his hands to it, didn't mark it, but butted up on the bounce and tied it up. Westworth still working in close, gets another hand pass forward. O'Day scrubs a kick out wide. He's looking to get it to the advantage of Canning, who eventually picks it up and kicks inside forward 50. Jorgensen coming in late but couldn't get there, and the mark was taken by East, and they're off and running again. Now it's into the hands of Bruce. Bruce runs away and kicks down towards half forward. That's a well-weighted kick out in front of his teammate Cronin, the goal kicker for Buffs, and now he drills nicely inboard, finding Chris Williams just forward of the centre square as Jackson Clark screaming for it out here, but he ignores that, wants to go longer. But, there's plenty of red jumpers back there as Horse sweeps on it, gets a hand pass forward to Kirby. Kirby inboard to Carlin, who loops it over the top. And they're off and running again. This time Canning gets it over the top, and Tars switch it to the near side of the ground where it's marked by Rogers. Rogers, his kick was a bit of a worm burner out wide. Shadforth did well to keep it in play and then follow up as Rogers comes in again. He gets tackled this time to the ground, and Max Rick Rogers will stand up and give it to the umpire for a ball up. So it's inside forward 50 for Tars as Big Irvin gets the hit out, but chopped off by Eldridge back there. He chips the pass. That's a nicely delivered kick, and finds Hutchison at half back for Darwin. Hutchison hasn't got a lot to go to, goes short in the end for Simpson. Had to stretch a bit for it, but was good enough to take that one as he was running backwards. Now he chips inboard to Moroney at half-back. Moroney called to play on now, sweeps a hand pass. They're under some pressure. Stokes inboard to Roberts, back to Moroney. Moroney chips it out wide, looking for Big Irvin, but he gets muscled out of it really by Barty as the ball spills out now into the hands of Spence, who breaks away and kicks high towards half forward. Oh, a big leap from behind, and that's Mitchell Jorgensen coming in late. Just had the sit, got a bit of height, and it stretched out and took a beautiful mark in the hands over the top.
Just need to settle down a bit, the Tars, don't they? Just everything's on a rush, and Buffs have got their measure at the moment. This could be a bit of a settler for them.
Jorgensen from centre half forward. Looks like that one's coming back nicely from left to right. It is, and through for another Waratah goal. So, as Nick said, yeah, a settler there really for Waratah, as they've done pretty well getting it into getting that final pass to give someone a shot at goal, but it's only the second time they've been able to convert.
Yeah, they had all the numbers here. There was about 5 Tars players against 1 Buffs player there. Good ball in and a big one over the top of the pack. Practice those at training. He said, thank you very much, I'll have that, and then finished it off very well. Jorgensen did for the Tars' second goal. 2-2-14 to 1 straight kick with about 8 or so minutes to go in this first quarter here at Gardens Oval.
But Buffs have come out with plenty of energy and certainly hassling around the contest, and don't look out of place at the moment, as they've had some chances going forward, just probably bombed a bit going in when they could have built to get it in there to their advantage a bit more. The handball, the hit out from Kirby straight into the hands of Brodie Carroll, but he was quickly wrapped up as this time over the top. Hampton gets his hand to the ball, but Tars again well organised in defence, and the hand pass out the back came to Barty, but it's Canning for Tars, gets a hand pass over the top to Blittner. Blittner inside forward 50. Philip Wills bursts out, got the ball pushing forward, and now receives the hand pass. Just spilled it there and tried to tap it out to the advantage of a teammate, and now they're under plenty of pressure. The ball comes to O'Day, who's tackled, gets a hand pass out. Chris Williams sweeps a hand pass out the back, and that went to Hutchison. He was under pressure, and now Jorgensen lays the tackle, and they take the advantage as the kick comes in, and Brodie Carroll, running back with the flight of the ball in space, takes the mark. So the Buffs had the chance to work that out, but just some ball handling errors saw them put pressure on themselves really, and Tars pounced and got it forward into the hands of Carroll, who's, as I said before, has been in sensational form, and is Waratah's leading goal kicker this year.
Seen the Buffs play a couple of times this year, and it seems to be very much that they get themselves in a good position and then just rush it, and it comes bouncing straight back at them. But Brodie Carroll lining this up for the Tars' third.
And again, the goal umpire doesn't move, straight through the middle, so Waratah have recovered pretty well after Darwin got that first goal of the game on the board, and just starting to get some control of the game now.
Hopefully this doesn't go like the women's game, because that's what happened there in that one. They got the first, but as we watch the replay here, this was it. They had all the time in the world here, but just got themselves into more trouble. Hurried out of it. You can see the amount of red shirts around there, and then straight to the captain, who had actually another option there coming forward as well for Westwood to take that mark. Back in the middle. Of course, we're throwing them up today. You can see a bit of mud on the ground. That's the cricket pitch. In the off-season up here, it's 30 degrees. We haven't had any rain this afternoon. Hopefully it stays away for the rest of this game.
Yeah, about 6:30 would be good, Nick.
Yep, it'd be perfect.
So, big Irvin gets the hit out again. Hand pass comes out to Carlin, back to Irvin. He swings back around into trouble, really, and back into the glue pot in the middle of the ground, but clever use of the hands. That's almost a throw, but I think that's been picked up. Looked like a definite two-handed hand pass, and so the free kick will come back to Hutchison for Darwin.
I think the umpire was waiting to see if it was an advantage, but pulled it up straight away.
So the ball gets over the back, punched away from behind, out into some space now, and the clearing kick away falls to Carroll, who gives inboard to Monty, who hand pass forward but put his teammate under some pressure. Jorgensen sweeps it out to Carroll again. Carroll out in front of Kirby, who picks up and flicks a hand pass over the top. Ricky Monty coming in, just got tackled to the ground as he was trying to pick up the ball, and the tackle was high, so it's Monty who will get the free kick, and he's well within scoring range, and we've got pretty much the perfect angle here right behind him as he kicks for goal.
Yeah, the umpires got themselves right in the position there. So far, the 3 goals hasn't had to move an inch either side, so you'll be hoping that Monty can put this one straight over the top of the umpire's head as well. Well, made him work for that one though, but still got it through.
Yeah, so good finishing from Tars, that set shot goals, and they stretch that lead a little bit more in this first quarter.
4-2-26 to 6 points. As we watch the replay, pretty straightforward goal. The umpire had to move a couple of steps, but put that one away.
So almost 19 minutes gone, first quarter, and Waratah just trying to starting to stretch that lead a bit. As back in the middle of the ground, and umpire Loney will ball it up. This time Hampton gets his hand to the ball. Simpson at ground level just breaks away from the middle and throws it on the left boot forward. It's a one-on-one contest down there. Westworth behind, gets a fist to the ball and gets it out to the advantage of his teammate Spence. Spence just inside the boundary line, kicks long around that outer side. Off hands, the ball spills to ground. Bradley Stokes picks up. He gets a quick kick looking for Jared Stokes, who's outnumbered there, but used his strength and almost got to the fall of the ball as Tars work it out the back. Spence sweeps the hand pass forward again as the kick comes inboard. Brody Carroll takes the mark in the centre square, looking to go forward. He's got a couple of short options and eventually pokes it forward, but that wasn't the best option, and it was chopped off in defence by East for Buffs, and he just chips it to the outer side of the ground, and Buffs the chance to build again. So they've got some numbers around there. That's a good pass, and Fogarty takes the mark out there, gives it off to Stokes. Stokes back in the middle of the ground looking for Roberts, who put one hand up at it, couldn't control the mark, and now at ground level he's going to win himself a free kick for a push on the ground. So he's got a runner from behind out wide here, and that's Paulie Campbell in a heap of space. He takes it and now runs forward, chips a pass in, looking for big Irwin, but went over everyone's head and just fell into the lap there of Hoare, who takes the mark again, kicks around the boundary. Carlin on the second grab couldn't take the mark, gets a hand pass forward to Irwin. It's chopped off by Moroney, who chips it inboard, and Simpson does really well. Didn't really know what traffic was coming at him, put the left hand out and reeled it in, and the player on the mark is right on the 50-metre line, and Simpson will go back looking as if he's going to have the shot for goal here.
Got a bit of breeze behind his back, but I don't think it's that far. It's going to take a lot with that muddy ball to get it to that distance, so we'll see how he goes here.
Yeah, Simpson been busy early in the game. Kicks long, I think that one's staying out to the right and looks like it's going to miss everything out of bounds on the full. So I think he had the distance covered, but just pushed it out to the right.
Yeah, usually what happens when they try for that extra distance, so they do push it to the right away from themselves, and on the breeze, that's where it went.
Tars coming grandstand side again. Well, it gets over the back, and Hoare takes that mark pretty easily as now he runs around, loses his grip on the ball, and now he's under all sorts of pressure as the Buff players come in. Tashion right at ground level, got it going forward, looking to get it to Hutchison, but it's come off hands and over the boundary line, and it'll be a throw in. So it was Nick Hoare just breaking away, but slippery ball just squeezed out of his hands as he was trying to run away with it. As Irvin gets his hand to the ball, hand pass comes out, but Simpson comes in. Looks like he's almost held then. As this ball's spilled over the boundary line, and will be another throw in.
Coming towards the end of the first quarter here, a 20-point lead to Waratah, 4-2 to 1 straight against the Darwin Buffs. And Pints were a big winner in the earlier game against Wanderers.
So back in the restart, ball spills out, the sweeping hand pass comes forward and Sinnott runs onto it through the middle of the ground. He kicks long straight down the middle, looking for Carroll. It's punched away from behind. Campbell just pats it forward to his own advantage, but under pressure couldn't regather, and the ball goes over the boundary line for another throw in. The boundary umpire just trying to get rid of some of the mud off the ball before he attempts to throw it in, which is fair enough. Kirby uncontested again, just pats it down to Monty, but his hand pass is chopped off, and the kick away is good, hitting Fogarty on the chest on the lead. He gets it across to Hutchison. Hutchinson kicks long to a one-on-one, punched away from behind. Running onto it back there was Barty for Tars. His hand pass inboard is picked up by Banbury, who goes straight down the middle of the ground and finds Carlin. Carlin wants to switch to the outside. He's got runners forward of the ball. Monty's one of them. He gives on the outside to Kelly, but the siren beats him going forward, as his kick probably would have hit a target going in, but the siren sounded and ended proceedings for the first quarter, and Tars have come back pretty well, Nick. Yeah,
quarter time, 4-2-26 to 1 straight. We're back here soon at Gardens Oval.
We're for being in it together. Like Danny's team. She'll be captain next year.
For real?
For real! Or like this couple, celebrating their anniversary.
29 years today.
30?
Whoops, awkward. Well, congrats either way. And Sarah. She loves walking at East Point every Saturday with her besties.
Keep up.
I'm trying, Sarah. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Kazali's Palmerston Club. Come and check out our cafe, open 7 days a week. Our kids club is open Wednesday to Sunday nights, including weekend lunchtime. Enjoy hot meals with nightly specials at the bistro, or cold drinks at the sports bar. Feeling lucky? Have a go at the latest machines in our gaming lounge, or grab your mates for a round of pool. Family gatherings or casual meetings, we have something for everyone. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
Bring it up, up. Bring it back, bring it back, bring it. Bring it back, up, up. Bring it back, bring it back, bring it.
Welcome back to AFL's coverage of the 24-25 TIO NTFL Men's Premier League in Darwin. We're at Gardens Oval where the rain has just started, just to throw a bit of mud in more in the middle. My name is Nick Danks and my commentary partner this afternoon, Stuart Davis. Big Stowe, Darwin Buff's got a little bit to be pleased of that quarter. I mean, you think Waratah's going into finals footy, going to take control of the game early, but Darwin Buff's got the first goal and haven't looked too bad at all.
Yeah, they came out with plenty of energy and aggression around the ball. Just some skill errors let them down a bit and put pressure on themselves, as I said during the call, so that allowed Tars to close in and take the ball away a couple of times. But yeah, there's some promising signs there, as you said, the rain falling, which was a little bit unexpected.
Yeah.
And yeah, it started during the quarter-time break and still going, so hopefully it clears pretty soon. But yeah, the ground's already pretty wet, as you can see that the boot marks are scuffing up the ground a bit, and there's obviously muddy in the cricket pitch area. But we're back underway now in the centre of the ground, and Hampton got his hand to the ball, but there's a free kick here in the contest. It's going to Irvin, but he tries to play on, kicks it straight into the player on the mark, but Monty butters up for Tars, kicks long inside forward 50, and Puruntatameri coming across to you. You almost pay that mark, but just slipped out at the last minute and then was toe poked off the ground, or trying to kick it off the ground forward was right for Buffaloes. He got his feet in a bit of a tangle and the ball spilled over the boundary line, so no damage done. It'll be a boundary throw in. So Xavier Hampton's battled pretty well in the ruck so far. Got his hands to a few. That's not the best of boundary throw-ins, but allowed to go on as the kick comes out. And Simpson thinking that he should have earned himself a free kick then, but it's gone against him. And we'll come back to Irvin.
It's a long way back for a free kick. It's come back out of the 50 to the centre circle.
So Irvin kicks long inside 50. Jorgensen pushes his opponent out of the way, but couldn't get to the fall of the ball, and picked up in defence by Moroney. The hand pass over the top from East. Wills just burrowing through, picks it up, but his kick's smothered over the boundary line, and it'll be a throw in that left forward pocket under the trees on the outer side of Gardens Oval.
So rain's starting to get a little bit heavier here. As I said, we weren't expecting any till later on tonight, but it's coming pretty strong at the moment. Hopefully it won't take long. Have a quick look at the radar in a minute.
So from the throw in, Kirby gets it over the back. Picked up at ground level by Bradley Stokes. Got it inboard to Simpson. Simpson toe pokes it forward. It gets to Wills off hands. He just hacks it forward on the left boot. Barty controls it at ground level and then kicks under pressure. Oh, Hampton got up high, got his hands to the ball, but couldn't hold on to it. The hand pass comes out to Carlin. He wheels into a bit of trouble, but managed to get the hand pass out the back, and the kick comes to the advantage of Banbury, who gets a hand pass forward as Tars trying to work it forward. Banbury again gets a kick in. Roberts got his hands to it, couldn't take the mark, and now Tars the chance. Puruntatameri at ground level. Just the ball spilt to his feet as he tried to kick it forward, and it's dribbled over the boundary line for another throw in. So Tars with the ball in their attacking area at the city end of the ground. Kirby just controlling these boundary throw-ins, gets another hit out, gets it down as Carlin's hand passes into the hands of Monty. He's got a spare player back behind the ball, and that's well delivered back to Banbury outside of the forward 50. He's called to play on now. He drills the ball in long. The goal square's empty, and Brody Carroll just props himself, lets it go over the top, and good vision there by Banbury. Saw that there was space out the back. The goal square was empty, and just kicked it long, and Brody Carroll helped a little bit by blocking any Darwin defenders coming in.
Yeah, did very well there, of course, with this sort of weather, with the ground's a bit slippery. The goal square, it's a good idea to knock it forward, as it shows the replay. But Carroll just ducked his head underneath it and let that one go through for another one on the board. 5-2-32 to one straight, 3.5 minutes into the second quarter here at Gardens Oval.
Yeah, so Waratah doing all the scoring after Buffaloes were first on the board in that first quarter. But we come back to the middle, and yeah, as I said, Xavier Hampton, he's just a young fella for a 22-year-old for Darwin, but he's got a bit of spring in his feet and gets up and gets his hand to it sometimes. Irvin wins it this time and thumps it forward, down to half forward, but couldn't be taken cleanly. It spills out the back now, and Hayden Brown running back, trying to control it. He's worked it about 30 metres backwards, and there's a holding free kick going to go to Buffaloes here, and it's going to go to Luke Roberts. Roberts goes in short to Bradley Stokes, who chips out wide, and Buffs a chance just to settle a bit, use the ball across half back, and Bradley Stokes gets it to Jared Stokes at centre half back. But not a lot to go to, so he goes over the top looking for East. That's a well-weighted kick, and East takes the mark and now swings around on his right boot, moves it forward quickly. It's a long kick, punched away from behind by Banbury, and recovers well, kicks in forward. Jackson Clark got his hands to it, but just couldn't keep hold of the mark, and Scooter Carlin picks it up at ground level, gets it by hand, and it comes to Banbury again, who thumps it forward, trying to get it to the advantage of Arnold Kirby, but the bounce didn't favour him, and Moroney was the more agile back there as he got the hand pass across to Bradley Stokes, who kicks long out of defence, trying to get it to Eldridge, but hit the hands of his opponent in front of his face, and play on's the call as Tars at ground level win the ball again. And now another chance to go forward with a long shot at goal, and it's good. It's another Waratah goal. This time it's Zach Sinnott who gets on the board for Tars, so that's a good finish from about 40 out once again.
Yeah, a bit of home ground advantage there. He was very confident as soon as he picked up this ball. Did a quick handball across then. Time taken, and then said, I can have a go from here, and that's exactly what he did. That's home ground. And you'll be pleased to know, Stu, that according to the bomb, it's not raining here at Garden Oval. There's no clouds, but it's coming from somewhere.
Yeah, so yeah, just a bit of a lack of pressure really then from Darwin at ground level where the ball was. So Tars were able to get it into some space, and Sinnott finished nicely. Scoreboard starting to look a bit ugly as far as Buffs are concerned here, and they're keen to get their hands on it. They've thrown Irwin in to do some ruck work. He gets a hand to it as Spry at ground level tries to get it forward. There's going to be another Tars free kick. Advantage is being taken as Salta Lamachia gets the hand pass over the top to O'Day. Tries to break away. A diving attempt at tackle by Philip Wills. O'Day managed to get away, but his shot for goal misses to the near side and through from behind.
Bit of pointing on there from Philip Wills at a few other players, but they managed to dodge that bullet there. He had plenty of time to come back into the ground then and put that on a major, but
Spry in the back pocket, just chips it forward to Jackson Clark. He marks it half back, looking around all angles to try and see where he goes next. Jared Stokes gives the lead, but he's pretty closely marked, so Clark went long trying to get it to Irwin, but Irwin at ground level gets into the back of his opponent Carlin, and Scott Carlin take the free kick. He just wanders around inboard and now kicks to the hot spot in the corridor. The ball spills out. Stokes gets the hand pass out wide. Simpson to Eldridge. Eldridge looking to give it back to Simpson. The hand pass was behind him and he had to stop and prop and wait for it, and he got it to Hampton, who was under the hammer before he took hold of the ball, and Barty tackles him to the ground and will have a stoppage.
There's a couple of examples there, Stuart. They just made it difficult for himself. Both handballs behind players had to come back for it, and rather than run to the running on player.
Hampton up high again, got his hand to the ball. There's a Waratah free kick here. Looks like it's going the way of Riley Urban again. It's called to play on. It's kicks high and wide, and that's too wide. It's going out of bounds on the full on the outer side of the ground, so Tars the chance, Buffs the chance to just settle again from the back. Jackson Clark takes the mark. He's got a spare in the goal square. And that's Campbell, and Campbell chips it to Moroney on the near side of the ground. Bradley Stokes has made a bit of space forward, and he takes the mark at half-back. Stokes drills a pass down looking for Irvin. It slides off his hands over the back. Monty read it best and chips a pass forward, trying to get it to Shadforth. It bounces off his chest under pressure. Picked up and quickly kicked away, and McBean takes the mark there. McBean tries to get it moving quickly on the left foot. It falls into the hands of Wright, who took the mark and now kicks long towards half forward. Tars got numbers behind the ball here as it comes out to Hutt. His hand pass wasn't really the best, but it was out in front of Salter-Lamarche here at least, and enabled him to run onto it. Tim Eldridge out there in a one-on-one contest with Kelly. Kelly just pushed him out of the way as he was off balance, and then got a kick forward as Carlin again got a hand pass over the top and comes back to him. He hand passes inboard to Kelly. Kelly sweeps it over the top, and Tars go long forward again. Oh, the mark not quite taken, but it's going to be another Waratah goal in the goal square. And this time it's Max Rogers who was the player on the end of it, but it came to him. They could have raffled it really in the end, but he was in the right place at the right time, and he gets his first for the day. Yeah,
7-3-45 as we watch the replay here. He said it was all Tars. I think there were about 20 touches in a row there without a Buffs player getting near it, and this is just bopped through the back. And lacks a fortune with the Aussie Rules football, and he's taken that one and said thank you very much. So 7 individual scorers today for Waratah, 7-3-45 to 1 score, which was Cronin in the first quarter. Was actually the first goal of the game for the Buffaloes.
So that rain persistent at this stage as we're back in the middle, and it'll be Kirby up against Hampton. Kirby will want to get in close. Hampton will want to jump over the top, but Kirby positions himself pretty well. Gets hit out to Carroll, whose kick was smothered. Simpson scoops up the hand pass to Wills. Wills caught, gets a hand pass forward, but Monty runs onto it here. Swings a hand pass back, but that's gone straight to his opponent in McBean. McBean gives it to Rankin, who hand passed inboard. He put Simpson under some pressure then, and again, it's a Waratah free kick, and Nick Hoare will take the free kick and switch to the outer side of the ground where he's got a couple of options, and Cox delivers out wide, finding Canning. Canning inboard to Kelly, who just couldn't take it cleanly, but Canning back involved again. Eldridge shoves him out the way and then picks up and kicks long. It's going to be a free kick downfield for some contact after the ball was kicked, and it's going to go to Fogarty. Fogarty kicks long to a one-on-one. Big Will Irwin out there just couldn't get his hands to the ball, and Tars had numbers back quicker as they deliver to Monty at centre half back, and now they've got free players through the middle of the ground as well. Sinnott this time takes the mark, unsure what to do, eventually gives by hand to Kirby. Kirby kicks forward to O'Day, who picks it up on the bounce and now cleverly kicks it out wide, and he finds Canning. Canning, his kick just goes over the top, and East tidies up for Darwin out close to the boundary line where Jermaine Bruce just couldn't quite get to it, and the boundary umpire signals that it's bounced off his thigh and over the boundary line, and so it'll be a boundary throw-in.
Tars going into finals want to try and get some of these forward passes a bit more accurate. They've missed a couple today. We'll give them a chance because of the weather and the ground, and Buffs are putting pressure on, but you've got to hit those in finals.
Kirby again with the hit out. It spills out the back, and now the sweeping hand pass over the top to Kelly. Kelly swings it around on the right boot. That looks pretty good. It is. That's a terrific finish from Max Kelly, and another goal scorer on the board. So still all single goal scorers.
Yeah, 8-3-51 to 1 straight. 13 a bit minutes into the second quarter here at Gardens Oval. As you watch the replay, Kirby just too big, too strong in the ruck, knocked it over the back. This was a lot better for them, and they've taken the opportunity there.
Yeah, just well structured, weren't they? Had players out in space, trusted their teammate to win the possession, and Shadforth got it over the top nicely, and Kelly had time to settle himself, hook it around the corner and put it through for Tar's 8th consecutive goal.
That was a bit more finals footy standard there by the Tars.
So from the centre, Monty gets another kick out wide. Canning spills the mark this time under pressure as Wright had the ball stripped out of his hands. This time Blittner comes away and delivers to Kirby, who drifted forward out of the ruck contest. Off a step, he just thumps it straight over the goal umpire's head and through for another Waratah goal. So Kirby did the ruck work, just wandered down forward, inside forward 50, and his opposite number was either ball watching or trying to get a possession further up the ground, and Kirby was left all alone. But clever by Blittner, just broke away from that pack and delivered beautifully.
Yeah, it must be nice to come out of the pack and look up and see Kirby standing there, all in his own. And of course, Kirby has probably kicked one or two to that end from that area.
Yeah.
And he's just sort of stepped back and said, thank you, I'll have that one. Just pretty much putting this away now, 9-3-57 to one straight. And of course, Buffs did kick the first goal of the game.
Irwin in front, goes to Selch Lamarchia. Irwin just punches it forward. Kyle McBean runs onto it, just got one across the shoulder there. He's got players in the middle. One of them is Irwin. Irwin takes the mark and off a step, kicks along inside forward 50. Ball gets over the back, but now at ground level they're just trying to get some space. Stokes comes in, breaks a tackle. His kick though is smothered, and Tars defence swarm on it. Carroll gets a hand pass out the back as Hoare tries to burst his way through. Off the ground it comes to the advantage of Blittner, who scooped it up like it was a dry ball, kicks it out on the outside, and now running with it was Sinnott. He got tackled, the ball spilled free as Kelly at ground level tries to work it forward, but could only get, Rogers it was, sorry, could only get it over the boundary line for another throw in, and it'll be thrown in by boundary umpire Narelle Long, who ball spills forward. Simpson there trying to reach out and grab it back in, but Brodie Carroll breaks away from the pack with the ball, delivers out wide. That's a well-weighted kick and falls into the lap of Hugh Canning, who made ground nicely. Canning swings around, kicks to the goal square. Jorgensen from behind got his hands to it, slips out the back. Paul Carroll at ground level just works the ball forward. He's worked it around about 30 metres away from the goal, and eventually it goes over the boundary line for another throw-in.
He did that well because it was all Tar shirts around him, but he had no one else with him, so he had to try and keep that one in and not be pinged for intentional, and did that extremely well.
Yeah, he was under plenty of pressure, wasn't
Yeah.
he? Really didn't have an opportunity to take possession as the boundary throwing comes in again. Tap forward, but Stokes to Wills, out the back to Eldridge. Eldridge delivers nicely, and that mark taken by Arkel Rankin. Rankin chips it over the top to Chris Williams, and he marks between halfback and wing on the grandstand side of the ground. So not a lot of movement forward for him. Tries to drill a pass this time, but that's going to be easily intercepted by Toby Hutt cutting across in defence for Tars. Hutt kicks along down the line. Jorgensen, a big leap from behind. Couldn't get the second grab on it as it spills to Blittner, who just got thrown out of the contest, and he'll win himself a free kick here. Just starting to get busy in the last few minutes, Xavier Blittner.
He was the only one who wanted that ball then, and he's thrown in, and the umpire's given it to him.
Gives off to Irvin, who kicks long, but to drag that across the face of goal. Brodie Carroll at ground level manages to keep it in play to Shadforth, to Monty, back to Carroll. Carroll, bit of clever footwork, but then as he tried to break away, got tackled, the ball spilt free. Lucky not to be penalised for that one as the ball spills to Blittner again on the outside of the boot. His kick smothered, falls to Jorgensen, who snaps at goal, but he hasn't brought that one back far enough and through for a behind to Waratah. So parts of the crowd giving umpires advice here.
Yeah, there was a little bit there to give, I think. He was probably unlucky not to get dropping the ball there or hold the ball.
Yeah, exactly. So Luke Roberts chips it up the middle, and East thumps it forward for Buffs, but again it's just fallen in the hands of Toby Hutt, who read it nicely coming in, and Hutt delivers looking for Jorgensen, slips out of his hands back to East. East on the left, thumps it forward into the hands of Banbury, but he couldn't take the mark, and now they're working it through. Spry feigns a hand pass and then kicks long to space inside forward 50. It's a foot race, but Westworth is going to be first there for Tars in plenty of time, and he's got time to deliver on the outside, and Puruntatameri takes it and has a bounce, and then kicks nicely in the centre, and they're away and running again. O'Day inside forward 50, but this time chopped off at ground level by Bradley Stokes, who wants to go backwards and across, and he does that, and Jackson Clark unfortunately couldn't hold on to that one. Mark spilt and spills over the boundary line.
That early attack there by the Buffs, he had to bang that one forward for a foot race because he had no one in front of him there to pass it to or to do anything with. They push forward. They nearly don't have a single player, the Buff, in their own half at the moment. In their attacking forward, I mean.
So Jorgensen just taps it over the top to the advantage of Monty. He got caught in the tackle. Brodie Carroll at ground level just trying to work, but Philip Wills, his opponent, comes in pretty hard at ground level and sees it over the boundary for another throw in.
It's been a long time since Philip Wills has been out and about, so it's good to see him out there today at the last game of the season for the Buffs.
So in close order, that looks like a high tackle. It's going to be, so it's going to be a Waratah free kick, and it's Scotty Carlin who'll take that free kick. Ever the workhorse around the packs, and burrowing in underneath, got himself a free kick at the expense of Kevin Moroney that time. So we're into time on in the second quarter. Carlin with the set shot. They're clapping it through on the goal line. So another Waratah goal, and the margin really blowing out as Tars add their 6th goal for the quarter.
And another individual scorer for the Tars. 10-4-64. That definitely head high. Easy decision there by the umpire. And Carlin says, thank you, I'll have that one from here.
So 10 goals, 10 goal scorers for Waratah. And of course, just the single goal scorer for Darwin. So we're gone past 21 minutes in this second quarter, and it's one that's been dominated by Waratah, 6 goals without reply. Up high, punched away by Hampton to the advantage of Jared Stokes. He hacks it off the ground. It's taken a few metres in front of him by Cox, who swings around and delivers to the outside. And Tars looking to build around that outer side of the ground again as Irvin spills the mark, but he's got time to recover and kicks down towards half forward. Jorgensen just got some physical contact in the marking contest, and the ball spilled out, and it's going to be a Buffs free kick here. So
rain's getting harder here at Gardens Oval.
Yeah.
We wasn't expecting this afternoon. Blue sky to the left, but still coming down fairly solidly.
East to Simpson. Simpson up the middle of the ground. McBean has a bit of a fumble, but manages to get something of a kick forward. Hampton couldn't take it cleanly. It spills out now. Looped over the top by Hutchison, who receives back. He's got a runner behind him, Simpson, but just wasn't aware through it on the left boot, and that one's bounced right on the line, I think, so it'll be a boundary throw in.
You think there's only a couple of minutes left to go. It's been all Tars this quarter, 6 goals to zip.
So just sorting themselves out around this ruck contest. Falls a bit short again. Irvin takes it, gets tackled, gets a hand pass to O'Day, who went to ground, hacked off the ground by Jared Stokes down towards half forward. Couldn't be picked up on the half volley, but now Hutt clears nicely. Beautifully picked up on the half volley by Roberts, who got the hand pass to Rankin, who tried to take it one-handed but couldn't do so. Clark and Rankin fight over it at ground level. It's picked up and hacked forward by Rogers for Waratah, but Ricky Monty couldn't control it at ground level, and it spills over the boundary line again. coming up to 24 minutes, second quarter, and it's at half forward for Waratah, the boundary throw in. He's swooping in and picking it up nicely was Hampton. He swings it around, but that's going to go straight down the throat of Barty, who spilt the mark and then tackled an opponent without the ball. So it's coming back to Cronin, who, his kick's not the best as it slid off the boot going forward, and now Tar's scrambling at ground level. Sinnott just trying to work it out. It eventually spills to Hayden Brown, who got caught in the tackle and taken to ground. And again, there's stacks on here, and it'll be another ball up. Hampton up hole. That looks like a dangerous kick, and that's the way it's been paid. So it'll come back to Irvin. Irvin's got players on the outer side calling for the switch. He goes that way to Puruntatameri, who delivers nicely to Saltalamacchia. Running inside 50, kicks long towards goal. It looks pretty good as the siren goes. That's a great finish. Sailed through as the siren went, and it was Josh Saltalamacchia who was the goal kicker on that occasion. So we still don't have a multiple, Nick.
11-4-70 to 1 straight. It was the first goal of the game the Buffs got as well. 64-point margin here at halftime at Gardens Oval. We just quickly watch this replay before we leave it with it. A big kick right on the siren as it crosses the line now when the siren goes. So that one counts. So as I said, 11-4-70 to 1 straight. Be back with you shortly here at Gardens Oval.
We're for looking after things, like Debs does with her pool.
Job done.
Almost. The joys of having palms, eh, Debs? Or like Greg does with his pot plants. They'll love the afternoon sun there, Greg.
That's exactly what I thought.
Great minds. And Tom here, who's assessing Ben and Bet's place after the recent storm.
Everything's in order.
Tickety-boo, Tom. TIO. We're for Territorians.
Kazali's Palmerston Club. Come and check out our cafe, open 7 days a week. Our kids club is open Wednesday to Sunday nights, including weekend lunchtime. Enjoy hot meals with nightly specials at the bistro or cold drinks at the sports bar. Feeling lucky? Have a go at the latest machines in our gaming lounge or grab your mates for a round of pool. Family gatherings or casual meetings, we have something for everyone. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
Bring it up.
Welcome back to AFLNT's coverage of the 24-25 TIO NTFL Men's Premier League in Darwin. We're here at Gardens Oval, where, Stuart, I think the sun is shining. I'm Nick Dank, Stuart Davis with me. We've had rain, we've had wind, and we've now got the sun out. We've still got the mud, and unfortunately we've still got Waratahs leading pretty comfortably by 54 points, 20 points at half-time. And really it's going to be interesting to see what Darwin Buffs do to finish off their last half of the season pretty much. Of course, Tars got finals next week. But 11 individual goal scorers, which is pleasing to a degree.
Yeah, I guess that's something that the Tars coaching staff will be happy about, that they're sharing the ball around and getting people in positions to score goals. But, yeah, as you said, Buffalo's last half of football for the season, and I'm sure they'll try to be wanting to take some positives out of this as they're back in the middle. But, yeah, we've got pretty bright sunshine now. We had rain for the entire second quarter, and
yeah, I can see shadows out there now. Yeah, I can see shadows. It's good. Of course, Darwin Buffs have avoided the wooden spoon. Palmerston picked it up last night when they got defeated by Tigers by 98 points.
So Irvin and Irwin do battle, and Simpson with the clearance for Buffs gets it down to half forward. Is working hard at ground level. Banbury just tries to get it out into the advantage of a teammate. Eventually it squirts out, and then it's batted over the boundary line, and it'll be a boundary throw-in. So a bit of a scramble to start with in this third quarter.
In other results today, Tracy Village Pine defeated Wanderers by 68 points, and at Norville, coming up to half-time, Southern Districts are leading St Mary's by 8 points.
So Irvin and Irwin again. It's picked up by Eldridge on the scoot. He tries to bend it around the boundary line, but just floated over, and Hutt wastes no time switching across to the other side of the ground to Hoare. Hoare's got a runner out there in Westworth. He's under some pressure, but goes to ground and manages to get back and deliver forward. But Philip Wills, reading that one off of half-back, took it nicely, thumps it long as the ball spills into the lap of Kyle McBean, who used the old hands in the air trick to suggest that the ball was getting there earlier, but he's done it really well in the end and avoided the contact from the Tars defender coming back, and he takes a mark. And much like the first quarter, Buffs the chance to score first here at the city end of the ground. Kyle McBean kicking from 20 metres out, pretty much directly in front, and no problem. So great work from Philip Wells, just reading the play, coming up off of half-back to take the intercept, and then wasted no time, got it in quickly and gave his forwards a chance. And that makes a difference when the ball gets in quickly and they've got one-on-one contests and have a chance. Just on the replay there, you didn't see the work of McBean in the lead up, but a good mark and a good finish.
Yeah, he certainly fooled the Tars player there. He thought the ball was going to drop a lot earlier than it did, and of course he's taken 2 steps in front of him and taken that one pretty easily. And second score on the board for the Buffs.
So a promising start after half-time. It's one that Coach Philip Wills would have been imploring. Lewin wins the hit out. Simpson again gives it on the outside to Bradley Stokes. It's been moved into the middle. He's tackled and the ball slips out of his hands. So a Waratah free kick in the middle of the ground, and it's Big Riley Irvin again who takes that free kick, kicks out wide on the near side of the ground, cleverly kept in play by Monty to Shadforth to Kelly, who hand passes forward. Now comes back to Kelly, but there's a whistle on the play for a high tackle. It's going against Tim Eldridge. And Max Kelly takes the free kick, delivers towards half forward, but wasn't the best of kicks, and Buffs are able to tidy up at the back initially, but Irvin gets the hand pass over the top to O'Day. He drills a pass forward, just a little bit too low, too short for Purintatameri, as Buffs again try to work it out of defence, but wrapped up in the tackle, and another ball up just inside forward 50 for Waratah. Kirby wins a hit out, straight down the throat of Roberts for Buffs, but he gets a kick away eventually. As bursting through was Hoare, did really well, kept his eye on the ball, got the hand pass across to O'Day, but he was under pressure straight away. Again going without the ball, but Will's got the free kick for being held anyway, and he's got Moroney spreading from behind. He delivers along the line, but that's gone behind his opponent, his teammate, and made it pretty easy for the Tars defenders to tidy up as they work it through the hands and eventually get it forward to Sinnott. Sinnott has O'Day in space forward of him at half forward, and now he just wanders to the 50-metre line, kicks back in the corridor. Puruntatameri comes at it, but couldn't get front position. The snapshot at goal from ground level by Brodie Carroll is clinical once again from about 35 metres out, and Brodie Carroll, I think, Nick, becomes the first multiple goal scorer of the day.
Yep, they've got 12 scores on the board, the Tars, and Brodie Carroll, as you see here in replay, picks it up, all class, just took his time, and then here at his home ground, he knew exactly where to put it, and it's got his second goal of the game and becomes the first multiple goal scorer of the match. 12-4-76 to 2 straight, 12 points, coming up to 5-minute mark of the third quarter.
So an answering goal in this quarter by Tars to even the ledger since half-time, as Darwin players confer about their plan for this centre bounce. And Will Irwin for Darwin and Riley Irvin for Tars go at it. Irvin wins it pretty easily in the end over the top, but Tars couldn't get it at ground level initially. They burrow out of it now as the ball's forced forward, and that'll be another free kick against Eldridge in the back of his opponent. And he's coming up a bit sore there, Saltalamacchia.
He just rolled onto his leg, I think, when he's gone down into his back.
Oh, he tries to give the hand pass to the runner from behind, but the hand pass wasn't that great. As now there's a scramble for it at ground level, and a holding free kick being paid the way of Darwin, and Xavier Hampton wastes no time kicking it forward, but his teammates lost his footing down there, and Riley Irvin just worked back and took the mark uncontested in the end. Oh, that one spilt by Hutt as the pressure came in from right, but look at the red jumpers around there as they work it out. Hutt takes a step steadies, but Philip Wills once again reading it, comes in, takes the intercept mark, and then switches across to Simpson in the middle of the ground. Simpson looking for Jared Stokes, who managed to work his hands to the front and then butter up and get it at ground level, delivered beautifully inside forward 50, and finds a teammate who can go back and have it shot for goal. And it's Tyson Cronin again, who kicked Darwin's only goal in the first half. So great work from Jared Stokes, who must say hasn't had his most productive day today, hasn't had the possessions that we normally used to see him having, but a quality one there. So Cronin from out pretty wide, bit of a stutter in the run-up. Looks like this one's just going to fall in the goal square. It's punched away and Tars hack it out, but it goes straight to Simpson, who throws it on the boot, leaning backwards, and just dragged it to the left for a behind. Jack Bambury going back to retrieve the footy. In fact, there's not a spare one there at the moment, so he's having to go and get it over the fence.
He's off onto the golf course. It's gone into there, so we... no, they've just called him back, so they've got another ball from somewhere.
No, he's bringing that one back.
Back too. Oh, yeah.
But you can see the other one over by the cemetery fence.
Yeah.
Bambury runs out of the defensive goal square, kicks it long. Ball gets over the back and running onto it here. Saltalamacchia pounces on that, gets it a hand pass over the top to Carlin. Carlin sweeps it over, and now Carroll drills the pass across just a little bit too much on it, gets over the head of Kelly. He's under pressure now from Williams as he's tackled. The ball spills out. Jorgensen hand passes back to Sinnott. Sinnott tries to pinpoint a pass inside forward 50, but Roberts got his hands to it. Buff's defence under pressure once again. Wills comes in and does really well there to get through a couple of opponents and then give the hand pass out the back, but the kick across ground from Moroney has gone too wide and out of bounds on the full, so it'll be a Tars free kick.
There's a couple of minutes in this quarter of excellence from Philip Wills. He's done pretty well. He's been 3 or 4 times this quarter. He's taken control there in the back line.
Ricky Monty with the ball out wide. Buffs midfielders have all pushed back. Monty from right on the boundary line. This one's going to lob in the goal square. Jorgensen got his hands to it, but again, there was plenty of Buffs defenders. That kick out from Hutchison out of defence was more by good fortune than design, I think. Fell into the lap of Irwin, who gave it off, and now the Stokes brothers just share it around as this kick comes around the outer wing, and the mark taken by Spry. Spry goes backwards to Luke Roberts. Roberts has got players in the middle of the ground. One of them is Philip Wills, who takes the mark now. Looking to move it quickly, gives by hand. And on the outside, it's going to be a free kick for being brought to the ground after disposal. It was Simpson who had the kick. And the free kick will come down ground, it looks like. Kevin Moroney will take it here. No, it won't. It'll be to Sean Wright, who will take it. Jimmy Eldridge screaming for the ball here at half forward, all by himself. He's got it now. Chips the pass inside forward 50. Oh, good defensive work. Punch the ball away, but Buffs at ground level. Spry gets a hand pass back to Irwin. The ball slipped through his hands. He's recovered now. Throws it on the boot forward as a quick kick from out on the boundary back towards goal by Hayden Brown, but couldn't bring that one back, and it's out of bounds on the full.
Couldn't even keep himself in bounds then, so it's going to be a very difficult from that angle to swing that one across. So
might have been a better option to carry it over the boundary line and get the stoppage, which they get anyway in the end, as the ball's knocked away from from Irvin, and it'll be a boundary throw in again.
We only had 2 goals in this quarter. We're coming up to 11-minute mark, just after the 11-minute mark of the third quarter.
So Irwin gets it on the bounce, hooks it to forward. Kyle McBean, diving attempt to mark, couldn't take it, and now Tars defence under some pressure, but they're pretty cool about it in the end, working through the hands. But that one, the mark spilt, which again puts them under pressure, but Banbury reefs it out of the pack and runs away, gets a hand pass forward to Carlin on the bounce. Carlin has a runner inside in Saltalamacchia, and now he kicks long to half forward. It gets over the back. There's a chance here for Rogers running onto it for Tars, but he goes to ground, and now it's batted out to the advantage of Jorgensen. He overran it, and the ball caught in underneath as Rogers is hovering, but the ball doesn't come back to him, and it'll be a ball up in the left forward pocket for Waratah. Kirby up against East. East gets the clearing kick. Scooped up there by Irvin. He gets caught with the ball as he loses his footing, and he'll be penalised, and Simpson will take the free kick for Darwin. He wants to go through the corridor where Bradley Stokes is running. It's too far out in front of him. Barty for Tars comes in, looked to give the hand pass, but took his eye off the ball and spilled it. But Nick Hoare, who's been a really reliable defender this season, clears it away for Tars out to Monty. Monty chips it forward looking for Jorgensen. Couldn't get it on the half volley. The two Darwin players almost collided there as they ran in to put the pressure on, but now they've got the chance with the hand pass out to Campbell. Campbell's quick kick forward, but that one's chopped off by Ricky Monty again. So Monty happy to just slow things down a bit out in front of the scoreboard on the outer side of the ground, and goes into the pocket where Brodie Carroll takes the mark unattended. Just worked himself into space. No one went with him. And Brodie Carroll, who of course is a left footer, so that side of the ground should favour him, as taking plenty of time on this one. Carroll has 2 goals for the game already. Swings around on that left boot now and kicks long towards goal. It's coming back. I think it is. Goal umpire likes it.
Yep.
It's through for another Waratah goal and another clinical finish from Brodie Carroll.
And again, their home ground advantage. Then he knew it distance from there. He kicked it a couple of times. 13-482 to 2-1-13. As we watch the replay here, Carroll all on his own. You can't leave him out there by himself, and he's going to punish you, and that's exactly what he just did. The Buffs have looked better in this quarter. There's a couple of things they'll be pleased with taking into the off-season. And Philip Wills is obviously out there having a look to see what they can do. And there'll be moments of pleasure, but the Tars are just all over this game and have been since about the first 10 minutes into the first quarter. It's pretty much all been one-way traffic.
Yeah, that's right. Generally, the Darwin pressure has been a lot better, but just with the odd lapse like there was on that occasion for Brodie Carroll to just get out in space by himself in a dangerous area. But yeah, there's been some better efforts from Darwin as the ball goes up. Hampton gets up high, knocks it forward, but again we'll have a stoppage here. And big Arnold Kirby will go up against Hampton. Kirby gets in front and hooks it over Hayden Brown at ground level. Gets a hand pass to no man's land really as the players slide in on that cricket pitch and pick themselves up and wipe themselves off. And I'm sure in the old days the umpire used to bring it out of the mud patch to throw it out, but it doesn't seem to happen these days as the hit out goes to Simpson. He gets a high one down towards half forward. Good use of the body by Banbury. Gets it out the back to Westworth, whose hand pass forward just missed the target and rolled over the boundary line.
It would make sense to bring it out of the mud puddle in the middle there, wouldn't it? But umpire decided to pull it up exactly where it was.
This throw-in's going to fall short, but Hampton comes in late and takes it, gets a hand pass forward, but that's going to go out. I think that might have come off the boot of Rankin. It has, so unlucky there. And Philip Wills on the bench waiting to come in, can't believe it, but I think it looked that way to me.
Yeah, it did to me too. I think it just hit the bottom of his boot as he's come across, and you know, one of those silly rules of the AFL, but it's where it paid.
So Kelly short to O'Day. O'Day thought about switching into the corridor. He's got Spence running forward on the near wing, but goes longer than that, down looking for Carlin. Ball spills to Kirby, who does the roving, kicks it to ground level, inside forward 50, chopped off by Chris Williams, who thumps it out to the outer side. Westworth just nudged his opponent under the ball again and then worked back, worked it forward pretty well, just kept paddling it till he got some advantage, and the ball comes up to O'Day now. O'Day chips forward, but this one should be chopped off. No, Moroney couldn't get there as the traffic came, and picked up in the back half by Hutchison on the left, kicks out looking for Fogarty. He got a hand to the ball but couldn't control it, and it's over the boundary line for another throw in. So between wing and half forward, just near the scoreboard on the outer side of the ground. Gardens Oval bathed in sunshine now after persistent rain in the second quarter, as Kirby works his way to the front, gets two hands to it and just pats it down in front of himself, and Tars with the clear and kick inside forward 50 again. Carroll got a fist to it at ground level. Shadforth just tries to work it to advantage of his teammates but not able to do so, and the pack closes in again, and there's going to be a free kick found here. It's going to go against the player at the bottom of the pack for dragging it in, and that's Hutchison, who gives up the free kick, and Clay Shadforth will be the recipient.
He's played well today. He's had a lot of touches. Did get a goal early in the game, lining up now for his second.
So he'll be kicking from about 40 metres. The kick on the way looks pretty solid. Goal umpire makes a bit of ground, and he's just missed that one to the right. So another behind to Tars, and they don't add to the 2 goals that they've scored in this third quarter as we go past 18.5 minutes. So East looking to come grandstand side, chips it. And taken in the back half as Brown brings it out. Punched away by Kirby forward, and well organised Tars work it around. O'Day gets a kick inside forward 50. Oh, it slips out the back. Running onto it, Kelly paddled it to his own advantage now. Runs in towards the open goal. I think he's just snuck that one inside the right-hand goal post. Rogers it was, sorry, not Kelly. And the Buffs defenders claiming that it hit the post, but I don't think they're going to have any success with that call. Moroney pointing at the top of the post, saying it's still wobbling. And we'll get the boundary umpires involved in the conference and see what we get. The call from goal umpire Joanne Wood is a goal, and it's been overturned. So must have got some information from the boundary umpires, I think, and the protests from the Buffs defenders proved fruitful.
The boundary umpire did come in and touch the post as he ran past as well, so I think he did see just it clipped.
So the ball worked out to the wing on the outer side and spills over the boundary line.
So a 20-point lead at quarter time, 64 at half time, 71 points now with a couple of minutes to go of the third quarter here at Gardens Oval. Waiting for this one to come back in.
Yeah, just into time on. Kirby again muscles his opponent out of the way and gets it over the top, and sweeping hand pass comes to O'Day. He's got a runner from behind in Westworth, and Westworth kicks long towards half forward. Oh, the mark not quite taken by Puruntatameri. Rankin at ground level gave it straight back to Puruntatameri, who swings around on the left boot, going long towards goal, but that one's a fair way offline and just sneaks through for a behind. It'll be Chris Williams bringing the ball back in this time for Buffs. He's got a leading player, and the kick was good, but still slips through the hands of Hutchison, but he's done well at ground level to recover, and then chips one high over the top and finds his target in Fogarty. He goes forward and finds Stokes running forward. The pass just a little bit short. Couldn't be picked up. O'Day cleverly across half back, just avoids the traffic and then gets a hand pass wide, and now going back onto it was Kelly, got it out to Saltalamacchia, tap forward to O'Day, to Carlin. Carlin just runs past the opponents like they're not there, and then delivers inside forward 50 to Shadforth again, who takes the mark at ankle level and then chips it inboard to Jorgensen. And one of three players could have taken that mark in the end, and it's Mitch Jorgensen who will have the set shot at goal.
Going back for his second.
Yeah, had a couple of opportunities, but he's an important player for them going into the finals, I think. Gives them that height and can take a mark, as we saw earlier in the game. And has been a goal kicker in some games, but that's a pretty ordinary attempt with a shot at goal, unfortunately for Tars, and just slides away to the right for another minor score.
You can read that with his body language. As soon as he come off his boot, you didn't even see where it went.
Chris Williams again, and again he delivers, and this time finds Fogarty at half back. Fogarty swings onto the left boot. It's a good kick, and finds Simpson. Simpson short again, this time to Roberts. Roberts thought about giving the hand pass, but decided against it as the siren goes, and in the end just 2-1 in that quarter, Nick.
Yeah, absolutely. A 20-point lead at quarter time, 64 points at half time, 13-8, 86 to 2-1, 13. So 73-point lead to Waratahs as we head into the final quarter. Back with you shortly here at Gardens Oval.
We're for being in it together. Like Danny's team. She'll be captain next year.
For real?
For real! Or like this couple, celebrating their anniversary.
29 years today.
30?
Whoops, awkward. Well, congrats either way. And Sarah. She loves walking at East Point every Saturday with her besties.
Keep up.
I'm trying, Sarah. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Kazali's Palmerston Club. Come and check out our cafe, open 7 days a week. Our kids club is open Wednesday to Sunday nights, including weekend lunchtime. Enjoy hot meals with nightly specials at the bistro or cold drinks at the sports bar. Feeling lucky? Have a go at the latest machines in our gaming lounge or grab your mates for a round of pool. Family gatherings or casual meetings, we have something for everyone. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
Bring it up, up. Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. Bring it back, up, up. Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back.
Welcome back to AFL-NT's coverage of the 24-25 TIO NTFL Men's Premier League in Darwin. We're here at Gardens Oval. My name's Nick Danks. My commentary partner this afternoon, Stuart Davis. And Stuart, a better quarter there for the Buffs, but of course it's pretty much all over at 73 points and has been for a little while now.
Yeah, that's right. The game was shot pretty early, but a bit more of a contest in that third quarter, and they were a bit harder around the contested ball and didn't allow Waratah to move the ball as freely as they were in the first half. So that's a bit of a pleasing aspect for Philip Wills and his staff. And Philip Wills himself, of course, was heavily involved in a few passages off halfback and really helped his side to stop the flow of Waratah forward entries.
So Darwin Buffs' final quarter of the season. The Tars getting ready for finals next week here as we're underway.
Irvin and Irwin do battle, but it's a free kick in the middle of the ground going to Scotty Carlin. He's had another good day, plenty of possessions through the middle of the ground, and he chips that one forward, but Simpson, who himself has been a good player for Buffs, chips in and takes the intercept mark, delivers into the middle of the ground and finds Bradley Stokes. He's got a runner from behind on the other side. That's Moroney. Moroney takes a mark, calls for players to run forward, and then looks for Jared Stokes, who got his hands to it but couldn't take the mark, but strong at ground level, picked the ball up, got the hand pass back to Moroney, but now it's turned over and Tars looking to run the ball forward from that wing on the outer side of the ground, but good pressure from Buffaloes again as the kick comes in. Oh, that's a mark taken, terrific mark. And Hayden Brown, I think that is, that's taken that mark just outside forward 50. He wants to pick it up and run, but he's not going to be allowed to do that, and he'll have to go back over the mark.
Well, they scored the first goal in the first quarter, the first one in the third quarter.
It's a free kick here, and it's going to be a chance for the first goal in this quarter. They try to take the advantage here, but they're not going to be allowed to. As I think Rankin snapped that one through probably, but they are going to allow it as the umpires conferred, and it was Arkel Rankin who got himself the goal. So I'm not sure if we'll see that one on replay.
I think the umpires looked at each other and went, let's call that one. You had 3-1-19, 13-8-86, and you said Rankin's come in and just picked that one up. And while the umpires were talking about it, he's popped it through.
So Rankin becomes a goal scorer in this game, and he's given them a bit of energy around the ground as well during the day. So Buffs with the first goal as we wait for players to set up in the middle of the ground. Riley Irvin and Will Irwin will do battle in the ruck once again. It's the ball in the air. Irwin tries to make contact. It comes to Simpson, who gives off to Stokes. Jared Stokes, bit of a floating kick inside forward 50. Rankin got on the end of it but couldn't take the mark. It spilled out, and that gives Tars the chance to break away as Carlin gets a hand pass across, but the kick's ricocheted forward, and now Buffs a chance again as Brown picks up, swings onto the left boot, kicks long towards goal. It's bouncing towards goal in the goal square. McBean tries to kick it off the ground. Couldn't get his boot to it, and it goes the wrong side of the goal post for Buffs and through for a behind only. So short pass finds Westworth. Westworth looking to deliver to Saltalamacci on the outer side, but just slid too wide and out of bounds on the full, so he'll be brought back into play by Bradley Stokes. Kicks it high into forward area, or a big leap, but no mark taken. McBean gets it to the boot. The mark trying to be claimed, but there's a snapshot for goal and it's through, and that's another good goal. This time it's to Sean Wright for Buffaloes, and for the first time in the game, Buffs have kicked 2 goals in a row.
Yep, they're leading the quarter now, but they're still 60 points behind. There was 73 down at three-quarter time, and I think that's what Fools would have said to them at the end of the game. Well, let's just pinch a quarter here. And they've come out and thrown everything at the Tars.
Yeah, that's right. And Waratah really haven't gone forward at all in this quarter, so it's something that I'm sure Ricky Nolan and his coaching staff on the TARS bench will be trying to address pretty quickly to just settle the team down, get the ball back in their hands and get it going forward. So back in the middle, ball spills forward. Simpson again for Buff, so another clearance for Darwin, but this time chopped off by Banbury, coming out of the back pocket and takes the mark nicely at half back. And he's looking to bring it grandstand side of the ground. Nice delivery, but Sinnott spilt the mark, got it back, and Hutt gets a quick kick forward, and it's marked by Carlin. Carlin swings onto the left and delivers into the middle of the ground where Saltalamacchia marks. O'Day sat and waited for that one as Roberts came from behind and punched it away, and the kick inside 50 is chopped off, and now a chance for Buffs to counter-attack here as Irwin takes the mark. He had runners past on the outside but decided to go by foot, and it was a good choice in the end as he hit Hampton, but Hampton's kick just too far away from right that time, and the TARS defenders and midfielders just swarmed on him, and now they bring it away, and a long kick inside forward 50 from Monty. Ball spills to the ground at ground level. It's picked up by Puruntatameri on the left boot, snaps towards goal, and he's got himself a goal. I'm sure he kicked one almost exactly like that last week at that end of the ground, but just swinging across on the left boot, and that's a good strong finish from about 30 metres out directly in front.
Here's watch a replay here. Just again, the Darwin Buffs players just got in the road of each other and just landed in the right spot for him to knock that one through, and the Tars get their first one of the quarter.
So Stephen Puruntatameri on the board for the first time in this game. There's ball back in the middle of the ground, and we wait for umpire Cooper Beaument to throw the ball up and get us going again.
12 goal scorers today for TARS.
Hampton up high, gets his fist to the ball, but TARS first hands on it. Carroll at ground level, he gets pounced on, and he'll get a free kick for being a bit too vigorous in the tackle and getting in the back. Carroll's got Puruntatameri loose on the grandstand side, but tries to kick longer, kicks into the player on the mark, and it's taken there, and no chance to get rid of it. So Hampton gives the ball back, and it'll be a ball up. So Kirby uses his strength, wins the hit out. Williams sweeps a hand pass forward for Darwin to Brown. Simpson is working in a phone box really, but manages to get a kick out, but it's intercepted by Saltalamacchia, who chips out wide where Shadforth has made some ground. Shadforth straightens now, kicks in towards the forward pocket where Riley Irvin's having a well-earned rest deep in the forward line, but the ball didn't quite get to him, and eventually it's worked over the boundary line for another throw-in. Coming up to 8 minutes in the final quarter, and Darwin have just closed the gap a little bit since three-quarter time, although TARS scored the last goal. As Hampton up high again in the ruck contest as Buffaloes get their hands on it, work it out wide, and now on the left boot Simpson gets another kick forward, but it gets over the back where TARS have got the numbers. It's fumbled by Hoare, and this lets Darwin in as Irwin straightens. There's no one in front of him. He kicks long towards goal. It's bouncing in the goal square, and it's going all the way through. So a great goal from Will Irwin. He just picked it up, saw that there was absolutely no one in the forward 50, and thumped it long, lobbed it in the goal square, and of course it's a little bit slippery. Slid through and through for a goal. Look on the replay here. He's kicked that from well outside 50, and a great finish.
Yeah, he had no one else to kick to up there. There was the full open goal square, open 50, and he's just gone bang, and the luck's of fortune with the bounce. It went clipped straight on rather than going sideways, and back to 60 points.
So a 3-goal quarter for Darwin so far, which is probably their best return for a couple of weeks. But again, they've just brought the energy a bit in this last quarter and given themselves a chance to get the ball around the ground. So it's been a lot more impressive, and Xavier Hampton has been one of those impressive players as he's back in the ruck contest up high, but just held at bay by big Arnold Kirby as Monty went to ground it, and Hampton tripped over the top of it, and ball spills out to Monty now on the left boot, gets it inside forward 50 for Tars. Bounce doesn't really favour his forwards as the Buffs players swarm back, and now it's picked up, and Moroney hand passes on the outside, and the mark taken by Simpson, or the half volley, and gives it on the outside to Hutchison. Hutchison goes long down the outer side, but this one chopped off by Toby Hutt, and Hutt just thumps it back to where it came from down the line. As oh, that's a terrific mark by Eldridge going back into the pack. He kicks in board, and Jared Stokes takes that mark. He wants to move it on quickly on the outside. It's a beautiful kick, and he finds Rankin. Rankin wastes no time getting it in, looking for Paulie Campbell there, who got rid of his opponent but then couldn't get to the ball as it bounced over the boundary line, and it'll be a throw in the right forward pocket for the Darwin Buffaloes.
Ten and a half minute mark of the final quarter, a 60-point lead to the Buffs, to the Tars. They were 20 points up at quarter time, 64 points up at half time, and 73 at three quarter. So the Buffs have pulled this one back a little bit here in the final quarter.
Kirby with the hit out, and Tars looking to run it away, but Tom Spence got caught then and wrapped up in the tackle, so we'll have a stoppage just forward of centre half forward. But Kirby, another hit out. Jared Stokes read it beautifully, fended off a couple of tacklers, kicks high towards goal, and Rankin running with the flight of the ball takes the mark, and surely this is going to be the fourth goal of the quarter for Darwin. He's marked that just metres from the goal line, although just to the side of the goal square, I think. And now he's flat on his back, being treated by his teammates for cramp.
He's not going to give the ball up to anybody though. He has not stopped all day and has run at 100 miles an hour every time he's been anywhere near the ball. He certainly is an up and under player, and something for him to look forward to watch next season.
He just tried to casually throw that one on the boot, but umpire says he's got to get round on his proper angle to have the shot.
Well, he threw the last one on the boot and got given it, so I thought he'd try it again.
So he does it. Oh,
no, he's missed everything.
Yeah, but it's fallen into the lap of a teammate who's spilt the mark, and it dribbles over the boundary line. That was Tashawn Wright, so a bit of a comedy of errors there, unfortunately, for Darwin Buffaloes after another terrific build-up for them. Still in the hot spot for Darwin in their forward area as the boundary throwing comes in. Kirby works his way to the front, fists it forward, but gee, there's some players around the ball here at the moment as it's not coming out of there in a hurry, and Robbie Barty hands it back to umpire Andy Campfield, who throws the ball in the air, and Kirby wins himself another hit out as scramble at ground level. Brodie Carroll gets a hand pass up, and a quick kick comes out. Attacking the ball was Hutchison, but didn't bounce favourably for him as Luke Roberts just takes the ball and over the boundary line close to the centre wing in front of the grandstand here at Gardens Oval.
60 points up with about 10 minutes to go. You think Ricky's going to start putting some cues in the rack soon and getting ready for next week's first finals.
So from that boundary throw in, Bradley Stokes just got pushed off it by Shadforth, chopped off by Wills, who gives and gets, and then his left foot kick was smothered by O'Day. So still working on the one percenters, Waratah, as we say, they build towards their finals campaign starting next week. So from the throw in, Owen in front just punches it back towards the boundary umpire, but Darwin worked that pretty cleverly, but just went over the line unfortunately as Fogarty tried to advance it down to half forward, so it'll come back for another throw in. Irwin in front this time, gets it down to Bradley Stokes, but he's hassled as soon as he takes possession of the ball. Simpson tries to retrieve it, but he gets swamped by a couple of TARS players and helped to his feet by a teammate. And now Irwin and Kirby almost missed with his fist then as Simpson cleverly at ground level gets it back to Bradley Stokes. He kicks long down the line, and TARS again with numbers work it out. O'Day delivers to Blittner in the centre of the ground. Blittner got players running forward and eventually runs around the player on the mark, Philip Wills, and kicks long inside forward 50, looking for Jorgensen out there. Ball spills to Carroll. Carroll often running and running into an open goal, and he won't miss that one from 20 metres out. So Brodie Carroll in the end has had a pretty good day on the scoreboard and kicks his 4th goal.
Yeah, he started off with all individual scorers, but Carroll's just shown the class above, as we see here in the replay. Just picked that one up off the pack, and as soon as he came around the corner, he only had one idea in mind, and that's exactly what he did with it, put it through for his 4th goal. 15-8, 98 to 5-2, 32, 66-point lead.
So TARS get one back. Darwin Buffaloes, of course, have added 3 goals in this quarter. They're most productive and had that recent opportunity where they just messed things up a bit when they had a real chance. But we're back in the middle, and Kirby, who's done most of the ruck work in this final quarter, gets it down, and it's a nice mark coming in, taken by Cox. Cox, at the last minute, decided to give it on the outside of the boot. Worked out pretty well. Now the kick goes forward. Saltalamacchia scoops it in as he runs forward. Gets a hand pass backwards as he's tackled, and the pass in from Canning just spilled off the chest there, and now Darwin trying to work it out of defence. Roberts runs onto it. He's under pressure from Carroll. Gets a hand pass as he's tackled. The ball spills to the ground, and Darwin under real pressure again as an attempted kick at goal from Rogers was just slid off the boot, and looks like it's gone out of bounds on the full, so it'll be a Darwin free kick out there. So Jermaine Bruce going back over his mark now. No, it's Roberts, in fact, who has to take the kick, and kicks out aside to a contest and just off hands over the boundary line again. A real long boundary umpire retrieves the ball and will bring it back into play. Just about 70 metres out from the Waratah goal. It's taken in front by Irvin. He gives off, and now a high kick inside forward 50. No mark taken as the ball spills to ground, and Buff's defence working hard again. Moroney gets the kick out wide, but couldn't be kept in play on the bounce, and it'll be another throw in. $18 minutes gone, final quarter. There's Brown doing the ruck work for TARS, but it's taken by Irvin. He gives off, and now Hoare had the ball slapped out of his hands as he tried to hand pass it forward. Jared Stokes almost threw a boot in there, but just pulled it in the end, and TARS working it out of defence again, out of the congestion again, and the long kick comes inside forward 50 on the bounce. It's picked up in defence, and Buffaloes again working strongly as the hand pass goes out wide. And a long kick down the ground. It's a bit of kick to kick here at the moment as Irvin takes the mark.
Yeah, just winding time down now to the end of the Buff season.
Irvin goes long, straight down the ground. The ball spills. It's picked up by Wills. He has to hand pass because he's tackled with the ball. The quick kick forward from Tars is chopped off. Hand pass comes to Wills, who gets it out of the immediate danger, but oh no, it goes through the hands of Canning there, and Tars gets some numbers in around the ball now as Banbury gets a hand pass forward to O'Day. O'Day just arches his back, gets away from opponent, chips it forward, but Simpson working back takes the intercept mark for the Buffaloes, and he's happy to slow things down. He's got Eldridge short and wide if he wants it, but there's a 50-metre penalty being paid here, so that'll march Simpson right down to the middle of the ground, and there's no one inside forward 50 as he strides forward, so he needs his Darwin players to get up there. He gives by hand to Jared Stokes instead. Stokes kicks from just inside the centre square, going long towards the goal. It goes all the way on the bounce, but just to the left of the goalpost. So almost worked again for them, Darwin, getting everyone up the ground, and then a long kick from outside 50, but just offline this time. So Hall brings it in with the hand pass to Purantatameri. Delivers nicely to Saltulamarchia. He's got Hutt in the middle of the ground. He goes that way. Hutt finds Sinnott straight up the middle, or his hand pass was too far out in front of O'Day, who had to pick it up on the bounce, but held once he got rid of the ball was the call, and so O'Day will take the free kick, gives off to Hutt, who delivers inside forward 50. It spills to Jorgensen. He hand passes out wide. Here's a shot at goal. No problem with that one. Straight through the middle, and it's Maxerick Rogers for Tars, who gets his second for the day, and that evens the ledger in this quarter. 3 goals apiece in the final quarter.
Yeah, as we watch the replay there, you can see Philip Wills with his hands on his hips going, we've done enough here in this quarter to win the quarter, just slightly in front at the moment, but all the time in the world, we could have raffled that between 4 of them, and he took that one fairly easy. Did Rogers.
Yeah, good finish nonetheless. The goal had to be kicked, and he's done that, so he's...
So the Buffs are still in front this quarter by 2 points. It's a 71-point margin. It was 73 at three-quarter time. And we've only got probably 2 or 3 minutes left to go of this game.
Yeah, pretty impressed with the way they've battled it out in this final quarter.
Yeah, because I thought at half-time that this was going to be an absolute blowout, and so absolute credit to the Buffs for not giving up.
So Irvin takes that one out of the ruck contest, then hands it off to O'Day, who delivers out wide, and he finds Westworth, who made some space. Westworth drills the pass. Big Arnold Kirby, just a bit too relaxed on that one, and Chris Williams tidies up for Darwin, gives it to Jared Stokes. Jared Stokes heard the call from Paul Campbell out wide, Campbell up high. The ball spills out the back. Saltulamarchia loses his footing, so Campbell's got the ground in front of him all to himself, but that's not his best kick forward, as Purantatameri almost got dragged by the jumper there. Picked up at ground level, and the hand pass back to Jared Stokes. He ducks back onto his left eye, good tackle, and he'll be penalised for that. That's a great tackle by Sinnott in defence as Stokes tried to run around him there, and that'll just settle things for Tars. So Sinnott drills this pass. Tim Eldridge getting in front, got his hands to it, but it's spilt to Canning, who gets a kick back into the middle of the ground. Running onto it, Shadforth here met some heavy contact from Spry, and Spry just stood his ground and then took the ball and delivered to Chris Williams. Williams has got McBean short. That's the way he's going to go, and McBean marks right on the centre wing here. Another short option to Jared Stokes, and Stokes has got another short one, but that's not his best kick, although it slips through, but Purantatameri tidies up nicely, and Shadforth delivers as Tars build in numbers running through the middle of the ground. It comes back into the hands of O'Day, who should kick a walk-in goal here from about 20 out, but he hasn't. He's missed it to the right, so a let off there for Darwin as the clock keeps ticking over 23 and a half minutes now, and Luke Roberts, in fact Moroney, to bring the ball back into play. He's calling for players to lead for him. He hasn't got a lot to go to. I think he's going to try and go long, close to the boundary. It's going very close to the boundary, and East, a terrific effort, but I think that one, they got a hand to it, but the second grab at is judged to be over the boundary line, so it'll be a boundary throw-in.
No sense of theatre there for the boundary umpire, but he was right. It definitely didn't take the second grab till it was over the line.
Yeah, it was a terrific effort. As Brown gets nudged out of the way by Irvin. A hand pass comes back. As hand pass comes up, and again an air shot as the tackle's laid. Stokes gives it to Simpson. Simpson on the left, kicks long to half forward, but Toby Hutt spilt the mark this time. Here's a chance for Darwin again as Cronin swings it around on the right boot. Another one bouncing through in the goal square, and another Darwin goal, and that's 3 at least in this quarter that they've bounced in the goal square and it's gone through. So as we said, that's a pleasing effort in the last quarter from Darwin to keep fighting, and looks like they're going to win the quarter.
Yep, they're currently 66 points in it. It was 73 at three-quarter time. So they've certainly fought back in this game.
So Cronin becomes Darwin's first multiple goal scorer. He, of course, kicked the first goal of the game, so it could be that he's kicked the first and the last goal of the game as we wait for umpire Callum Loney to throw the ball back up in the middle of the ground. We've gone past 25 minutes in this final quarter. As the ball goes up, Irvin taps it to himself, then gives out the back to Sinnott. Sinnott kicks high to half forward. Wills working hard at ground level. East comes in and does really well. Takes the ball cleanly, then gives to Wills. Wills gives it back to East. East into the middle of the ground. He finds Simpson. Simpson takes and gives quickly to Jared Stokes on the inside, and Stokes kicks long down towards half forward, but Barty was in front coming out and took the sliding mark in front of the scoreboard on the outer side, and then just chips around. I think that hasn't quite reached, and that's an over-vigorous tackle. It's a Tars free kick that won't be taken, and the game ends with Darwin winning the last quarter, Nick.
Yeah, absolutely. 20 points margin at quarter time to the Tars, 64 at half time, 73 at three-quarter time, and Phil Wills would be very happy that they fought back there in the second half and certainly made it a better game. 66 points in the end, though, to Waratah getting ready to go into finals with Darwin Buff's season coming to an end, and the goal scorers.
Yeah, we'll just go through the majors. Lots of single goal scorers, but Brodie Carroll was the standout on the day in front of goal. He kicked 4. Max Rick Rogers finished with 2 for Tars, and for Darwin, Tyson Cronin kicked a couple, the first and the last of the game.
And your best players on the ground, Stu?
Yeah, pretty hard to separate them from Tars' perspective, but Brodie Carroll was terrific, not just around goal, but all around the ground. Big Riley Irvin battled hard all day and had plenty of the football. Scotty Carlin, as he always does, I think he was probably rested for the last half of the last quarter, and as was Ricky Monty. I think he had lots of the footy as well, and Clay Shadforth was dangerous up forward, and for Darwin, I thought Tom Simpson was clearly their best player, and I really liked the game of Xavier Hampton. Just got a spring to him and kept battling all day. Lockie East down back was pretty good. Arkel Rankin gave him plenty of energy, and Philip Wills across half back to some of his old form.
Yeah, I agree. Tom Simpson definitely a standout player for the Buffs today in a pretty good second half anyway for their side. But that's it here at Gardens Oval. But the big news today, AFLNT investigations found that 3 flying players were used during Nightcliffe's round 13 and 14 match against St Mary's and Pint. So Nightcliffe currently deducted 2 games, meaning they've dropped to 5th position. We'll watch what happens, though, with the Tigers' appeal tomorrow morning here in Darwin. But it's been a pleasure to host you this afternoon. My name is Nick Danks. I was joined by Stuart Davis. Thanks, Stuart.
Thanks, Nick.
And we'll catch you next week for the first week of the finals. See you then.